Well, I'm using this magazine again, and American, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's about stamp collecting. Hi, it's Beverly Cole, and I am in my studio working on another collage that I haven't finished. Look at that. Can you believe the things in these old magazines now? It started with something like this small canvas, and I am adding some of these butterflies, I think. Or maybe not. I'm trying to decide what I want to use. I've used these in another collage as well. You can see it in the middle at the top there, almost like an old ceiling tile. And these are all done with dyes and colored with, well, the butterflies are spray painted, but the others are all done with alcohol ink. And you can see some flowers here, how pretty they are when they're layered. This is a card. So I'm going to use this key. I painted over the drawing I did and wasn't happy with it. And I'm also thinking of doing something different with the tea bag. I just don't think it's attractive, the way it's all mushed into the spoon. So I'm looking through the stamp collecting magazine. That looks interesting. I'm thinking of putting that up there in the corner like a little package. Maybe a package of tea. But I kept looking, and I found another one that I liked even better as far as the colors go. I have to check the other side to make sure it's nothing that I want to save, and it's unfortunate that that's there, but it's black and white, so I'm not too worried about using this. Sometimes you just have to sacrifice. Let's cut it out. And where do I want to put it? I decided to put it on an angle, and unfortunately the tea bag string and tag were there. I probably could have removed them and stuck it back on, but instead, I don't know whatever possessed me to do this, but I cut all around that tag. Oh my goodness, every little tiny place there was something. I just used my nail to rub along the edge and find it underneath that piece. Cut, and now I've got to glue it all on. It's just crazy how much work this was, but I like puzzles, so this was kind of like doing a puzzle. Okay, after it was completely pieced together, I just used my Elmer's glue to glue it down. The background, by the way, was painted and torn off and painted again, and so yeah, it was just a canvas that I had partially painted on. They make great backgrounds. This one just gave me all of the inspiration for the colors. So giving it another coat of Elmer's glue. You know how I like to layer that. Now the Elmer's glue won't hold that down, so we're going to have to use some kind of glue that's a little stronger. And I just decided also, since I love these leaves, I thought, maybe they could be tea leaves. They could be tea leaves, couldn't they? Why not? And they are also colored with alcohol inks. So I decided to use E6000. And when it came to the leaves, you can't see this, but I used way too much glue. And when I put something on it to hold them down, it came oozing out all of the edges. And that's part of what the problem that I have coming up is caused by. And you'll see in a minute. So yeah, these are cut from cans, run through a die cut machine, embossed through the die cut machine. Oh yeah, and always remember to store your E6000 glue standing up. Now I'm putting something heavy on the leaves. And there it is, there's what happened. I didn't use any kind of a plastic or wax paper to protect my collage, and it tore and got stuck to the things that I laid on top for weight. Now I'm trying to fix my mistake. And I'll tell you what, sometimes when you're being fussy and trying to make something look a certain way, fixing is not easy. If you're lucky, it is, but this was not a time that I was lucky. I tried using gesso to cover up to mend my error, and it just wasn't working. So I'm adding gesso, trying to make it look more pushed back, add a little water, blend it in. Nothing was working. I kept trying. Now the top leaf you can see is just it's just covered, and I was like, I really didn't like what that looked like. So I tried using my finger, I tried using a baby wipe, and then I tried using a toothbrush. That didn't really help much. So I kind of left it alone. I'll deal with it later. Now I want to add some stamps. You can see up at the top over the advertisement that I added, or whatever that is, letter, that there's some map stamping. And that's a stamp set by Sparkle and Sprinkle, who I used to work for and actually did have some stamp sets, rubber stamp sets that I designed for them, also digital stamp sets. I'm adding some Glimmer Mist and Perfect Pearls Mist, gold and copper, spraying that on and wanting to add a flower. Remember, I didn't use the flowers in the last collage, and I really love my flowers. And the colors just seem to go so well with this. And I said, I think I found the way to fix the tea bag. Oh, my friend's going to be so upset with me. But, sorry. I like it. So that also will get attached with my E6000, just like last time. But I'm trying to use less because of the way it, really got oozing, really messed up my collage. Hopefully I'll get that fixed. Now I'm putting some on the key, trying not to overdo it because I don't want another problem. But I finally got smart, and you'll see in a second what I do to protect the collage. I really press it down. I think I might have needed more glue. We'll get a little more on my finger. Not the best thing to have on your fingers. You really need good ventilation if you're going to use a lot of this glue. It's being so difficult. All right, so I take the liner from a cereal box, and I'm cutting a piece of that waxy plastic, and that will protect my collage instead of ripping a hole in it. My pointy thing holder, my bottle of clear glue, and now an antique button. I'm trying to decide which one I like for the center of the flower. Those two are just too three-dimensional. I just think it's a little too much. So I tried a flat black button, and then I thought maybe that was too dark, so I tried a brown one. Nope, back to the black one. That'll do. Nope. Okay, so now the glue dried, no problems, no tearing. And speaking of glue, now I'm giving a complete coat over my three-dimensional collage. I just poured a container full of Elmer's onto this collage canvas, spread around the entire thing, and because I don't want thick puddles around my flower, I'm kind of coaxing it out from underneath the flower and from within the flower, and putting it back into the container. You can see I picked up some color somewhere along the way, and I'm not too happy about that, but it doesn't seem to hurt the collage in the long run. Now I'm just trying to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. I end up tossing that glue because it had that yellow in it, and I don't want to have yellow on something that maybe I don't want to have yellow on. Okay, so now I'm working on trying to fix that spot, and I found in this large print dictionary the definition of tea, and I'm going to use some walnut stained distress oxide around the edges, and I need a picture. I'm thinking a woman's face, so I took my envelope of women pieces. I got a couple pictures of myself painting with a friend. How about when I visited the Dolly Museum? Where do you see that? This picture doesn't work. These pictures are too dark, and they don't really look like they're tea related. Here I am at the Dolly Museum in the playroom where the kids go, making a mustache out of a pipe cleaner. So I decide on, no, Nothing looked very tea-like, but I thought the faces were great, so I used a punch and I took one of these little faces, which I've used before in another collage. And I showed that collage at the beginning of the video. Here it is again. They are faces within bottle caps in the center of a flower. So while I was doing this, I thought maybe I should have put the face in the center of the flower. But what happens is the button and the flower in the flower and the teacup and the face are all round, so they echo that shape throughout the collage. And it covers the sin that I did before by tearing my collage. It's a little bit more detail, telling a little bit more of the story. Someone is in her English home having tea, planning her garden. Maybe she's been traveling, reading her mail. Now I'm using more of the walnut stain around the edges, which I like to do. I really think it adds to the what am I trying to say? To the vintage look, and it gives kind of a vignette. So I thought maybe it's a little too much brown, so I decided to add a little bit more of the peeled paint, distress paint from that marker. I think I need to get more of those. Those are so much fun to use. I could just use paint, but I don't know. These are very handy. Might be something that would be easy to pack in my RV. Yeah, a little green here and there. Spray it with water to activate the oxidation of the distress oxide. And then I'm adding some more of that red to make the tea look more red, green and red. Opposite colors on the color wheel, so they make each other pop. And we're getting there. Use a little bit of the distress crayon. Not too much. Oh yes, that's right. I added some to the tea cup. Yeah, that looks cool. I like it. I like it. It looks very nice. A little bit more up in a couple more places, and I think we're coming to the end. Some more water, and here is the finished collage. I'm happy with it. Here's some close-ups. You can see some of the texture. It's beautiful texture. Texture's so much fun and so cool. I love texture. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.